Yes, hello, good morning, one and all. Welcome back to our online classes. As today I'm dealing with the subject financial management with the topic, like a new topic, which is working capital management of Unit 4. As in the offline itself, I have started with this working capital management. What does it mean? And theory part of maximum percentage I have completed, and the practical has been left over. So in this we will see once. Let us go once again. See here, the objectives are working capital, gross versus networking. This is the main important part of this topic, and also one in this unit, and one more is the management of cash. These two topics will be coming as for your practical, and these are important. These two, like working capital and management of cash. That is, you may get one problem from this end and from cash budgets. And now let us go with the introduction part, as we have completed already. So working capital, I told you, as current assets management, and it involves. So here it is telling that the working capital management or current assets management is one of the vital part of the financial management. As working capital management, the management of the working of the capital, like managing the capital, how it is used in a day-to-day activities, and how the capital is used for the fixed capital, fixed assets. So here you see, as for the correct working capital management involves deciding upon the amount and composition of current assets and the manner in which it is used, and it is financed. Okay, and the financial manager must take utmost care in determining the appropriate level of working capital. The greater the amount of the working capital level maintained, the lesser the risk of the running out of cash. Profitability will be less. Isn't it what I have taught in the physical class? As we have completed this topic completely. Okay, now once again a small gist I will be giving, just fast. Okay, this you see as meaning of the working capital, as the capital has been divided into two, which is fixed capital and a working capital. So here the fixed capital, you see, the capital on which fixed assets is used is nothing but your fixed capital. So for fixed capital is like the capital which is used for the purchase of the land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fixtures. Those capital which is used for the purchase of that fixed, because as it is said that which is fixed, and we cannot retain that amount. Only we can, not in a regular way, which is in a when winding up of the company we can take that amount, but not in a as when needed. Okay, now coming to the working capital. So the capital has been divided into two, which is fixed and a working capital. Working capital you see as working capital. So again, by the name itself it is knowing working capital, day-to-day activities, working capital. Fixed capital, working capital is fixed capital is meant for long-term investment. Yes, as I told you, for the purchase of the all the fixed assets, and whereas working capital is for the short-term investments, like you say, as day-to-day activities. What are the day-to-day activities you will be doing? For those all things you need to pay some amount for raw materials, resources, and for sales, all these things. So is it not the amount we are paying for the organization, like for the from the financial management? So what happens here is the capital which is used for the purchase of the raw materials, for the day-to-day activities, for any other resources to be purchased, for all those activities includes this short-term investments. Okay, all the investments in a finance, in a organization, to do that finance, maintenance of records and all those, we may have some payments. See, for example, working capital deals with the activities like purchase of raw materials, as I told you, payments of labor charges, payments of n number of day-to-day activities. For the payment in a way of capital will be there. So that is nothing but your working capital. So here you see the definitions of working capital given by different two members. Let us see with one. Working capital refers to the working capital refers to the investment in short-term assets such as cash, accounts receivable, inventories, etc. Inventories is nothing but a stock by the Western Billingham. The sum of the current assets is the working capital, the business. Okay, this is nothing but your working capital by the JS Mill. And one more, what he says is working capital is the amount of the funds necessary to cover the cost of operating the enterprise. This is by Shubin. Okay, these are the different definitions given by different authors. Okay, now let us go with need for working capital. what is the need? Why are you doing this? Working capital differentiation, because the permanent of capital used is different and day-to-day activities of the capital is used is different. So thus the working capital needed for the following purposes: raw materials, components and space, and for the wages and salaries, day-to-day expenses and overheads costs such as fuel, power and office expenses. Okay, for this purpose we will be using, and also for the selling costs as packing, advertising, etc. So n number of things will be having to do the capital, n number of things to go to work on with the capital. So to provide credit facilities to the customers, all this includes in this working capital management. So here let us go with the concept of working capital. Concept of working capital, gross concept and net concept, as I already told you in a very deep manner. I have told you on that day when it is in the offline class. Okay, gross working capital. Gross is nothing but only the total of your current assets. Okay, total of your all the current assets. What are the current assets are there, that all includes your gross concept. And what are the net concept or net working capital? Net working capital is nothing but all the current assets as well as the current liabilities. So these two includes the net working capital, the current assets as well as the current liabilities. The current assets and the current liabilities we have to deduct from the current liabilities. Okay, current assets are deducted from the current liabilities. Okay, definitely our assets should be more than this current liabilities. And next one you see adequate working capital, how it is going to protect the business from adverse effects of reduction and permit the sufficient level of inventories, and acts as a cushion in emergencies like strikes, flood, all this because of adequate working capital. This why it is used and how. Significance of adequate working capital. Let us disadvantages. So here you see types of working capital. So working capital which has been divided into types, it may have different types like permanent or fixed as working capital and temporary working capital. Permanent or fixed is like all the fixed for long term purpose, and this is for the short term purpose, the investment made for the short term and the investment made for the long term. Regular working capital, reserve working capital, and at a temporary seasonal working capital and a special working capital. Okay, this will be detailed permanent working capital. Already I have told this. Okay, let us go with the part of cash budget. That is also one of the important point, and problematical part we'll see in the next video. Introduction to cash management. See, this is also important for the theory as well as a part for problematical too. So here once you see as cash is one of the current assets of the company. Of course you know it is in the asset part of the balance sheet, as your cash in hand, cash at bank is your current assets of the company. It is very crucial for any organization. Without the cash we cannot start up our own business. So we need to maintain some budget of the cash, whether it is in the point of receipts and in the point of payments. So here now let us, why this introduction of cash management is there. In this cash management we'll come across with the topics as budgeting our cash. Okay, budgeting, how it is used, budgeting of our cash management, that itself is mean that the cash management. So we have to see whether our cash receipts are more or payments are more, and we have to budget in the way, we have to use, you have to see, we have to check that cash budget. According to that only we will see our payments and receipts. And if at all if we want to do anything like new implements or new implementations, then with the check of our cash management only, like budget of our cash management only, we will see. Okay, let us see importance of cash management. What are the objectives? As I have told you, yes, meaning of cash management. You see, cash management means efficient collection and disbursement of cash. Yes, disbursement. efficient collection and disbursements, that is receipts as well as payments. We have to see both. We have to consider the receipts and payments. We should not see only the receipts, we should not see only the payments. We have to see both receipts and payments. Again, according to that, the receipts are more, then only our thing of cash budget is good. Otherwise, if the payments are more, is it that good? No, it is not at all good, as payments are more than the receipts. It is not at all considered. So we have to check thoroughly what all are our cash receipts and cash payments. Then only our meaning of the cash management is correct. So any temporary investment of cash, maintaining optimum level of cash in an organization is called cash management. Yes, it means forecasting. Yes, forecasting. We have to forecast what is the thing of this much, collecting, disbursing, investing and planning for the cash. A company needs to operate smoothly. We have to forecast, okay, this much of amount is used for such type of work or such type of assets to be purchased. We have to forecast before only. Okay, in that way our organization planning of the cash will be going on. So what are the objectives? Let us see. To maintain minimum cash reserves. We have to maintain a minimum cash reserve. So only it is useful for the cash management. Meet cash disbursements as per the payment schedule and cash collection as per the payment schedule, and minimize funds locked up as cash balance by maintaining the optimum cash balance. So this is the main useful for the funds to be locked up as cash balance by maintaining optimum cash balance, and seize the potential opportunities for profitable long-term investments. And one more, it is objectives to minimize the operating cost of the management. Next is earn on cash balance and to build the image of credit worthiness. Next one you see as to meet requirements of bank relationships to satisfy day-to-day business requirements. So these are the objectives of the cash management. Let us go with the importance of cash management, how it is important to whom. Okay, it is important for cash forecasting, as I already discussed this cash forecasting. We have to forecast what is the amount to be used, like cash to be used for this purchase of raw materials, purchase of fixed assets or purchase of current assets. What are the inflows and outflows should be planned accordingly. Then only our cash forecasting is done. So it is important to the cash forecasting. Next, managing the cash flows. We have to check what are the inflows and what are the outflows. Next, optimum cash level. We have to see what is our cash level at optimum level. Okay, it is specifying that it is optimum. Firm should decide on the appropriate level. So I told you that it is optimum at maximum level, appropriate level or cash balances. We have to check in this way, not only the cash level. Okay, in the not guessing point we have to see the optimum and appropriate. So only then our organization of the our management of cash is done properly. Next one you see investing idle cash. Idle cash or precautionary cash balance should be properly invested to earn profits. So what is the idle cash? The firm should decide on the division of such cash balances like between a bank deposits and the marketable securities. That is nothing but your idle cash. Okay, between the cash deposits like bank deposits, how much we are depositing into the bank of cash, and marketable securities. With these we have considerations becomes a idle cash. Next one is cash planning. We have to plan in such a way. Cash inflows and outflows are inseparable parts of the business operations of all firms. Of course, it's known to all, as it is inflows is different and outflows are different. Receipts are different and payments are different. The firm needs cash to invest in inventories, receivables and fixed assets, and to make payments for operating expenses. So thus, by all these points, it is important of the cash management in forecasting, maintaining the cash flows and idle cash level and optimum cash level and cash planning. So these are the cash management importance. Now let us go with the part of cash management techniques. We have some techniques to follow the cash management. So how to follow that? Cash management planning is there, control is there, and it will determine the optimum cash balance. So perfect and appropriate it will show. That is that for that we have a technique. And again, investing surplus funds. So these are the 4 techniques which are used in the budget of the cash, like it management of the cash. Let us see what is 14.4. Okay, what is cash management planning? Cash management planning you see as technique of plan and control of the use of the cash. Yes, it is knowing again. And anticipated cash receipts and payment. Cash budget is statement of anticipated cash receipts and payments. See, anticipated cash receipts and payments like inflation or fluctuation of the receipts and payments, and predetermined future periods. It expressed in terms of a monetary values like money values, and forecast of financial aspirations to the enterprise, and outline of future policies and actions of the management. Thus deals with the characteristics of a cash budget. Next one you see as cash management control. So how control is used? Accelerating cash inflows and slowing down the cash outflows. So in this technique of cash management control, how we have to accelerate is we have to increase our cash inflows and we have to slow down our cash outflows. Yes, obviously inflows must be more, like we have to focus on what all the receipts we have to get, we have to take from the others, okay, and increase our inflows in that way, and slow down our cash flows, okay. We have to slow down our payments. That is our cash management control. Here in the accelerating cash flows, we have prompt payment by customers, quick conversion of payment into cash, decentralized collection, and logbox system. These are the 4 methods how we have to accelerate the cash inflows. These are the methods where it increases the receipts to be getting. Okay, and next one you see as slowing down cash flows. That is paying on last date, adjusting a payroll, centralization of payments, making use of the float. These are the 4 types where we can pay our slow down our payments. Okay, this is nothing but our cash management control. Okay, next one you see the 3rd point where it is determining the optimum cash balance. So appropriate level of the cash, like is it a correct point where it is an upward or in a downward. So one of the primary responsibilities of the financial manager is to maintain a sound liquidity position of the firm so that the dues are settled in on time. See, if the liquid balance so here it is telling that liquid balance must be maintained at the optimum level. It is the level which gives the minimum cost of holding the liquid balance. Here we have to see the optimum cash balance by considering of our liquidity and the solid positions of our cash. Then only we can use this type of technique, which is determining the optimum cash balance. Next we will go with the fourth technique of investing surplus cash. Cash not required for temporary periods for short durations can be invested in near cash assets. So investing a surplus cash, this is also one of the technique, okay, where we have to use, that is marketable securities which are readily convertible into cash. In this way we can have some surplus cash to be invested. Okay, next we will go with the receipts and payments method of cash budget, where we will be having the problems on this, as which is very very important for the problematical part, okay, practical part. All the expected receipts and payments for the budget period are considered. Yes, let us see. Yes, this we will receipts and payments method of cash budget we will see in the next video. Thank you.